I don't know why, but last night I was reminded um, of something that happened back in Iraq. I was about, I think, 8 years old, and it was the time when Saddam had gone into Kuwait, and things weren't really going well for people on every side, and that was the time when power was cut off, and running water was cut off, and food became scarce, and schools were out, and there's just so much chaos. I The exact memory that I had was of that one night we all had. We lived in a small to medium house. My parents and my siblings. We have a large family, and my oldest sister lived with us with her husband and kids. And we heard that Saddam was going to chemically bomb us. So what could my parents do? They decided to put us all in one room that night and close up every opening in that room, windows, doors, everything, every crevice. And I think they put sponge mattresses and maybe some coal. I don't know. They thought maybe that would help with maybe filter out the air, make it cleaner for us to breathe or something. I mean, I don't know. What could you have done in that kind of situation? But we went to sleep that night thinking, we probably are not going to wake up. And we did wake up in the middle of the night and into a panic. It was kind of a really chaotic, hectic moment where this is what I remember seeing. My family members in a panic mode, some trying to breathe or unable to, and I wasn't having any breathing issues. It was just kind of like observing the situation, what's going on. And then somebody opened the door. I remember one of my brothers jumped out and went around the room and tore off all the sponge mattresses and stuff that was covering the windows, and he opened them. And I remember going outside, and everyone was coming back to life, breathing the fresh air. And one of my sisters, I remember she was about to faint, and my father grabbed a hold of her, and she was like, "You Bucky Meowie," and basically what that means is, Dad, it's chemical weapons in those terms. And basically we were all fine after we breathed the fresh air. So you were thinking like, okay, so it wasn't chemical bombing? No. As it turns out, funny enough, that because there was no power, we used a kerosene burner, and my niece was supposed to take it out before turning it off out of the bedroom, but she forgot to, and so it just turned off by itself in the room, and it started fuming, and the gas just spread all over the room. And that's what was the problem, which caused us all to have breathing issues and almost suffocate to death, thinking that there were chemical bombing. So he didn't end up bombing that day, but the scare enough by itself was something. Whenever I recall these moments, it brings back a lot of hard to remember memories and moments, but at the same time, it creates a sense of gratitude. When you think about tough times and you've gone through them, you've lived through them, and I think about my tough times today, and I think, really, am I kidding? These are not tough compared to what I've lived through and all the other horrors I lived through, which are not just in this one day in one story. And so it really makes me grateful for what I have. And the other thing too is like, it helps me kind of think about my problems and how, at the time you're living a problem, it's so huge, it's so big, you cannot see through to the other side, right? But the once you go through it and it becomes like kind of you're in your rear view mirror. You start laughing about it, like I'm doing today, right? You start like just talking about it, learning from it. So what we could do is, if we do have a problem right now today, is think about it as if it were already past tense, as if it were already in the rear view mirror. Now, what we're doing isn't going to help us solve the problem, but what it can do is this. It will help us alleviate some of that stress and pressure to be able to strategize better and think through better in order to solve the problem, instead of stressing and basically we're not able, because our thinking is foggy, we won't be able to think well. So thinking about it in that way would help resolve the issue. And as always, be grateful for everything you've got today.